Yeah, ironically, that's how I got escorted out of that family changing room. What's up, YouTube? It's Big Ryan, the Fat Guy. Give us your best insult about the Fat Guy in the comment section below, and we'll give the winner a shout out in next week's video. To give you guys some ammunition, he's 6'6", tipping the scale at 300 pounds, and once ate 2 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts in one lunch hour.
Listen, asshole, for the guys who paid money to see that, it was well worth it.
Last week we went 8-7-1, highlighted by an outright win by Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy Garoppolo, and the San Francisco 49ers. Maybe Kyle can get some sleep knowing he has a franchise quarterback in gorgeous Jimmy G.
Yeah, I was pretty jazzed about the San Francisco 49ers win. But who took Seattle? Who took Seattle? That's right, the Fat Guy did. And guess what? Cleveland, they covered. We didn't win, but I'll take a cover. We covered. Also, we took Green Bay. And for those of you who bet on Tampa Bay, I'm sorry, you deserve your money, and I deserve nothing. But a win's a win. 8-7-1. I'll drink my champagne, although I can only afford Baby Duck being up one game. But it is what it is.
So let's go on to Week 14. Thursday Night Football. The Saints travel to hot Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Saints are 2-point road favorites. Currently, 36% of the public have taken the Falcons to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you got in this one?
I'm not jazzed on the Saints. See what I did there? I like the Falcons. The Saints are running too big for their britches, as usual. They had a good win against Carolina, but I'm on Atlanta. Atlanta it's a do-up, do-down situation, and they're due-up after a loss from Minnesota. I'll take the Falcons.
Let's go to Sunday early games. The Lions travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. Right now, there's no line or percentages for this game as of Monday night. If Stafford starts, we project the line to be Detroit -3.
Get on with it.
If Jake Rudock starts, we think the Bucs will be 2.5-point favorites. Fat Guy, who do you have in this one?
You know what I like? I like when an unknown plays. Usually everyone bets against it, so I'll do the other thing, kind of like me on a seesaw with a group of people. So I'll take Detroit, especially if Jake Rudock plays.
Yeah, watching preseason, Jake Rudock wasn't bad at all. He was actually quite impressive. I really enjoyed watching him. He was kind of one of the quarterbacks that really stood out to me.
Wolverine, good alma mater.
Next up, we have the Bears traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Bengals are 7-point favorites. Currently, 52% of the public have taken the Bengals to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you have in this one?
I'm on the Bears. Disappointing for them last weekend. But give me Trubisky. I need some Jordan Howard action in my life. That's what I need. I want the Bears. I want the points. Give me the Bears.
Next up, we have the Colts traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. There's no line of percentages for this game as well as of Monday night. There's uncertainty if Tyrod Taylor or Nathan Peterman are going to play in this one. If Tyrod plays, we think the line will be Buffalo -4.5. If Peterman plays, a little bit lower, Buffalo -2. Fat Guy, who do you have in this one?
This is a good opportunity. I really hope Nathan Peterman plays because everyone remembers that 5-interception disaster. So there is going to be a very inflated line against the Bills. Peterman can only play better, let's put it that way. I thought he looked great in the preseason. The Bills looked abhorrent against the Patriots, but so does everybody. I like the Bills bounce back. I like Peterman and the Bills. Give me the Bills. The Colts still suck. Pagano's getting fired. Give me the Bills.
Next up, we have the Raiders traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 4-point favorites. Currently, 44% of the public have taken the Chiefs to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you have in this one?
Oh, I'm so disappointed in those Chiefs last weekend. I'm thinking, though, I'm thinking this is going to be a bounce back. It was at least an entertaining game against the Jets, and the Chiefs didn't cover as a result of Alex Smith. It was a putrid defense. Now, as far as putrid defenses go, the Oakland Raiders, they definitely have one of those. They're coming around a little bit since firing their defensive coordinator, boxing legend's son, Ken Norton Jr. But I will take the Kansas City Chiefs. I will lay the points. Give me the red over the black and silver.
Next up, we have the Vikings traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Vikings are 2.5-point road favorites. Only 31% of the public have taken the Panthers to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you have in this one?
Usually Vikings are excellent at pillaging foreign lands, but not this week. Carolina is going to take care of business. Expect some Cam Newton scrambling, because that's a good way of beating a defense like that, is kind of those broken plays. And as flamboyant as Cam Newton is, it usually isn't one of those types of things that I look for. Let's take that creativity, let's turn it into a positivity. I'll take Cam Newton, I'll take the points, and I'll take a win.
Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Packers are 3.5-point road favorites. Only 30% of the public have taken the Browns to cover at home. Fat Guy, why do I even ask? Who do you have in this one?
Obviously, I'm going to take the Browns stains. We covered last week. Let's look to win. I don't even want to cover. I want to win. Hundley, I gave a ringing endorsement last week, and he disappointed with 84 yards passing and an interception in a win and a cover against Tampa Bay. Wasn't a big fan about that, so I'm going to take the Browns. Browns defense is ever improving. They're 3.5 points to cover, but I think they're going to win.
We brought up Shanahan earlier. Maybe he gets some rest, looks a little better this week, not as haggard as he has been the last few weeks. But we have the 49ers traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. The Texans are 2.5-point favorites. Currently, 66% of the public have taken the Texans to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you got in this one?
Well, the 49ers, they were able to come from behind, unsurprisingly, against the Bears last weekend. I'm looking for that to happen again against the Houston Texans. I like Garoppolo. I like that offense. I like Shanahan. An unsurprising come-behind victory for the 49ers against the Houston Texans.
Last thing you want is San Francisco coming from behind, but it happens. The Cowboys travel to New York to take on the Giants. The Cowboys are 4.5-point road favorites. Only 28% of the public have taken the New York Football Giants to cover at home. Fact boy.
It's a guy. I'm 30. Well, not quite.
Fat Guy Slim, who you got in this one?
I kind of like when there's, like disarray and dysfunction. The Steve Spagnuolo, not a big fan of him. He was the defensive coordinator for the Saints when they were dog shit on defense. He preceded Rob Ryan, so you can imagine what his coaching prowess is. Wasn't exactly good as the Rams head coach either, but he did coach the Super Bowl winning Giants defense, and maybe he can pull some life out of this talented group, at least a little bit. On offense, they're going to be, a pile of garbage, but I'll take the points. I'll take the dysfunction. I'll take the Giants.
Let's move on to the Sunday afternoon games. The Redskins travel to LA to take on the Chargers. The Chargers are 6.5-point favorites. Currently, 53% of the public have taken the Chargers to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you got in this one?
Well, I'll tell you what. If the LA Chargers were named after a liquor company rather than a power plant, I would like their chances a lot better. I'm a big fan of the Redskins. I like Jay Gruden. I like Kirk Cousins. They played like hot trash against the Dallas Cowboys, but I think this is a good bounce back week, and I just can't believe they're always such underdogs. They were huge underdogs against New Orleans. They went to overtime, should have won that game. They were huge underdogs against Seattle. They won that game outright. Those were all on the road. Give me a road victory for Cousins and the Comanches.
The Jets travel to Mile High to take on the Broncos. The Jets are 1-point road favorites. Only 27% of the public have taken the Broncos to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you got?
I'll tell you what, the Jets are going to blow an engine in the no-fly zone. I think Denver has to do better than this. They went from heroes to zeros. Vance Joseph needs to be shown the door. He's lost control of this team. Todd Bowles is having an unreal season for what garbage he has in front of him. I like Denver at home. It's always hard to play there. I'll take Denver and Denver to win.
Next up, we have the Titans traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. The Titans are 3-point road favorites. Currently, 56% of the public have taken the Cards to cover at home. Fat Guy, who do you got in this one?
I'm not really looking forward to this. I don't know why. I'm going to have to take the Titans. Titans are just a better football team. Arizona, I was really hoping they'd pull one out against the Rams. They did very, very well against the Jaguars in a win 2 weeks ago. I'm going to take the Titans, who are certainly going to be playoff bound with a win here. So I'll take the Titans and I'll lay the points.
How long is Derrick Henry's touchdown run going to be in the fourth quarter of this game?
That's another good question. So maybe if they kind of switch it off into a 70-30 blend of Henry and Murray, they might have a little bit more success. Henry is just on fuego.
Next up, we have the Seahawks traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. The Jags are 3-point favorites. Only 17% of the public have taken the Jags to cover at home. Fat guy, who do you got in this one?
This is a gold star. Cats eat birds, Jags eat Seahawks. If anyone watched the Seahawks-Eagles game, and I imagine most of you did, Russell Wilson played an unreal game, but he ran for his life, and that's going to happen. And the other thing, too, is when you're always playing with broken plays, you need your receivers to make a play on the opposing team's corners. That's doable against Philadelphia. That isn't doable against A.J. Bowie and Jalen Ramsey. Particularly Jalen Ramsey is of the best corners in the league. It's of the best pass rushes, of the best secondary. Give me the Jaguars at home, and this is a big circle it with a red marker. I like the Jags. I like them a lot.
Out of all the games we've done so far this year, this is the best one by far. The Jags are a home run. Make these picks and pick the Jags as fast as possible.
I'm risking eating Campbell's soup for the rest of the year if they lose this game. So if you want to talk about gambling, this is as high stakes as it gets.
The last game for Sunday afternoon is the Eagles are traveling to LA to take on the Rams. The Rams are 2-point favorites. Only 25% of the public have taken the Rams to cover at home. Fat guy, who do you got in this one?
I'm on the Rams again. They're giant killers. They really are. They beat the Saints at home, and I think they're going to be able to do the same against the Eagles. The Eagles have flown super high. They took a little dip against the Seahawks last week, but I think the Rams are going to be able to pull one off this week. I just really like the Rams. Nothing against the Eagles, who is a fantastic football team. This is the game that should be watched, though. It'll be the most interesting of the weekend.
The Sunday night football game is the Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. The Steelers are 7.5-point favorites. Only 6% of the public have taken the Steelers to cover at home, even though it's a very, very, very early percentage. Fat guy, who do you got in this one?
Well, that line just seems absurd. I mean, the percentage is going to be a little bit off because we're going literally right after the Steelers game. The Ravens they're surprising everybody. Their offense actually looked pretty good. They hung 44 on the Detroit Lions. It's really not that bad. I mean, one of them was a defensive score. But this Ravens defense is for real deal. Might be the best in the league, in contention with Jacksonville. Divisional game, Ravens and Steelers. We both know how this ends. It's a last possession and a field goal. I'll take the Ravens. And also, if you noticed, the Steelers on Monday night, again, had to score with a last-second field goal. They had to do the same thing against Green Bay. They had to do the same thing against Indianapolis. They have only 2 impressive wins, one beating Minnesota at home, but they also lost to Jacksonville at home. I like going against this Steelers team. I don't believe in them. I don't think they're that good. And they've also lost Ryan Shazier. This is another good spot. It's not a huge money play for me, but I like the Ravens.
Moving on to the last game of the week, Monday Night Football. The Patriots travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Patriots are 11-point road favorites. Only 23% of the public have taken the Dolphins to cover at home. Fat guy, who do you got in this one?
Well, first of all, shout out for the cool scheduling by the NFL. You're going to play the same team twice in 3 weeks. That's great. But it's divisional, so Miami is a revenge game, whatever that means. Betting against the Patriots is just a losing proposition, it feels like, every year. But that doesn't stop me from doing it. I'm going to throw good money after bad, and I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins. They're at home. The points are so huge. Can the Patriots really cover again? I don't know, but I'm going to find out with my money on Miami.
Let's recap the lightning round. Week 14, Thursday night, New Orleans at Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta.
Moving on to Sunday morning, Detroit at Tampa Bay.
The Lions.
Chicago at Cincinnati.
The Bears.
Indy at Buffalo.
The Buffalo Bills.
Oakland at Kansas City.
Give me the Chiefs.
Minnesota at Carolina.
Give me the Panthers.
Green Bay at Cleveland.
My Browns. My Browns.
San Francisco at Houston.
Give me the 49ers.
Dallas at the New York Giants.
The New York Little Giants.
The Sunday afternoon games, Washington at the Chargers.
Cousins and the Comanches.
Jets at Broncos.
The Broncos.
Tennessee at Arizona.
Tennessee.
Seattle at Jacksonville.
Big Jags. Big boy Jags.
Philly traveling to LA to take on the Rams.
Sean McVay and the explosive LA Rams.
Sunday Night Football, Baltimore at Pittsburgh.
Baltimore.
And Monday Night Football, the Patriots at Miami.
Yeah, I guess the Dolphins. I mean, yeah.
And remember, the best insult will get highlighted next week, so come up with your best insult for the fat guy.
I can take it, can you?